Hello my YouTube friends, this is gonna be a video about 2 advanced tips on the champions I play currently in solo queue. Enjoy! The first tip I'm gonna give is the long asked question that everyone seeks answer for. Drututt, Grasp or Conq? The true answer is that Conqueror right now is pretty not reliable enough. The trades that people will take against Camille will technically not last way too long, and I barely get above 200 healing from Conq through the whole game. The only good part from it is the adaptive force that you get that allows you to deal much more damage in Grasp. But Conqueror right now is not so optimal because people that play around Camille and champions that are currently in meta like Gnar and Nurgot typically don't align them to make Conqueror work. Most of the time it's a war of attrition, whoever sustains more and whoever will surpass the enemy in like potions and rune choices. So second wind, D-shield are really strong right now, top lane is pretty much reliant on this. And also I started taking Presence of Mind with Bloodline because you're gonna be going Titanic every game. There is no reason to ever go Ravenous Hydra over Titanic, especially now that Omnivamp is backed with second Q and it doesn't heal you. So I would advise to take Grasp in most games, unless you're against a ranged champion like Lucian or Queen, then you can take Conq, but every single other matchup Grasp is much superior and you should be taking it most of the time. The second tip I can give is maximizing your shield usage by initiating a trade when your shield is about to come back and not when it's up. Because when the shield is up, most of the time you will hit an enemy and they will just run away and then align you when the shield is on cooldown. But if you engage the enemy and make them commit when your shield is about to come back, you'll maximize the shield usage and then turn the trade in your favor most of the time. Now for my second favorite champion, Kayle. The first tip is gonna be a general laning tip, but don't go for minions. You don't need to go for... It's okay to be behind in CS as Kayle. It's okay to be downfield in CS as Kayle, because her clear speed, her farming speed past 11 skyrockets. Kayle can easily catch up to 10 CS per minute with her level 11 and natural spike. She will outfarm most champions despite being so behind. She farms so quick, so healthy. She's allowed to take camps even past 6 if you can kite them well, especially Gromp is so good if you can take it. But don't go for CS, you don't need to. Don't trade HP for minions that won't really matter. It's better to be full HP and get only half of the minions than be half HP and then get dived, lose XP, that is the most precious resource to Kayle, and then lose the minions anyway. So don't trade for minions you don't need. Remember, it's really important. Second tip is don't use your ult on useless targets that you can save but they won't do much to you. Your ult is much more important than some support's life. If your support wastes his ult and flash, there is no reason saving him. He'll be dead weight and his spells won't really provide much unless it's an enchanter or something. Save your ult late game to peel yourself or to peel targets that actually matter, like your ADC, your mid laner, your carry jungler. Your ult is so important. It's so easy to engage on Kayle with no ult and people will do that. So just having the ult is already pressure on the enemy team that they have to respect it. Just in like the clip I show you, I decided not to save Nautilus even though I couldn't, he would escape, but the ult actually saved Kayle later, which won us the game. So save your ult, your life matters, support doesn't. Now for the Shadow Isles waifu, Gwen, the first tip and the most important tip for this champion. Always start Dblade, unless it's some omega hard ranged matchup like Lucian or a Queen. You wanna go Dblade. Dblade will net you so many level 1 kills. Take Dblade, start E, cheese a bush, boom. 50% of your games, they face check, they will die. There's no escaping. If they face check, they are pretty much dead. You just follow their flash with yours, so unless they are like Queen and they can vault away and like flash away, you will just kill them. It's so insane. Like her adaptive transition to AD, she'll have like 91 AD with fully stacked Conqueror. She will apply her E damage, she will get attack speed, she will get passive damage, she will heal. It's so insane. Start Dblade, go chase a bush, it will work all the time. And or if they don't face check the bush, just align them level 1. There are not many champions that can actually contest her level 1. I have won every single matchup level 1 like this. I legit can't name a champion that loses level 1 to her. Just do it. Second tip is gonna be a short one, but against champions like Fiora and Camille, just buy Bramble Vest and thank me later. They will squeal, they won't be able to do anything, Renekton is an easy matchup, just buy Bramble. Now for Viego. First tip is always play him at 3 AM. Nah, I'm kidding. First tip is always go full damage Viego. Full crit Viego top lane, never go Bruiser build. Bruiser build with Kraken Slayer into full tank is so bad. It deals no damage later, it falls off, it's not that great. But the real chance, the 3 AM gamers will always go for the full crit one. Bork into Immortal, into Essence River, or the Lord Dominic, and if you didn't build Dominic, build him 4th. You can switch Essence River and Dominic depending on if they stack armor, and Infinity Edge as the last item. This champ deals so much damage at 3 or 4 items. He just insta-kills anyone that gets caught in his stun. He can legit, if you hit a max range stun, you can insta-kill them during the stun. You just W, auto, Q, auto, ult, and they are dead pretty much. Full damage Viego, trust me, so much better than the Bruiser build. Always go full damage, much better, much more fun. Thank me later. Only on top lane though. Doesn't work on mid lane jungle. The second tip I can give for Viego at 3 AM is don't push the lane to sustain unless you can afford to. So many Viegos just think they can take bad damage and then they can just are like, oh yeah, I'll just snort some HP away from the enemy minions, and then they end up pushing the lane, enemy freezes and it just kills them because Viego really doesn't have that much brute force. His E is pretty useless in 1v1s and he really can't get enemies low to the threshold in order to execute them with ult. So he relies on his auto attack range and sustain in order to win the lane. But so many Viegos just take so many bad attempts to sustain and then they fail. Only push the lane to sustain if you can maintain the wave in a way that enemy can't align you and kill you, and when you know the position of enemy jungler, or if you can just 2v1 them. But if you can afford to push, it's just last hit, or just finish off minions with W and auto attack in order to sustain. Don't just push, it will kill you. Now for the 0-10 spiker, aka Yone, the first tip, your goal early game is to base on 1.1k gold. Early game as Yone is so bad, he has no cooldown reduction through attack speed, so his Q is on giga long cooldown, his W is like 18 seconds, and his damage isn't that great. Your E is pretty much useless in laning, so only use it to like dodge key spells like Irelia E or like Camille hookshot, that's the only use for it. And your whole goal is to base on 1.1k. Berserker Glyphs are such an insane spike. You legit become a champion when you buy them, and you can finally start going for the outplays. Your goal early game is not to kill the enemy. Sure, if they overextend, they take many Qs because you space them really well. Well, you can kill them because, well, they just play bad. But in most lanes against humans, you just wanna save up, farm up, get 1.1k gold, and base TP, and then you become a really, really useful champion. The second tip for Yone is always Q3 before ult, especially in late game. Your Q3 will guarantee that you hit the ult, and most of the time how Yone fights is he stacks the Q, he E's and then tornadoes, and if you hit the nado, you can ult to fully one-shot a squishy, but most of the time people just E ult, enemy flash the ult, now Yone has no ult, and he's much, much worse in a team fight. So making enemy flash a Q3 is much better than making them flash your ult. Your ult is also much worse in terms of engage because it's much more readable than your Q3, especially when you have lots of attack speed. So always try to auto attack the minions with your Q twice, get a nado, and with the ult. It's really important. That's how most fights with late game will go. In late game, sure, if enemy is in a choke, you can just ult them, you don't have to Q3 them. You can, more damage will always be E ult, Q3, auto, Q again, and that's the full damage combo. But other than that, always with your Q3 before your ult, it will always guarantee a knock-up and they can't reduce it, unless they QSS flash. Now, for the nasty Sylas, the first tip I can give you is that you can ult during your E2, so you don't waste your time when in a heated situation. You don't waste your time ulting someone to take their ult. You can have the ult instantly ready to pull off some sick combos. Like for example, if you hit E on Yasuo and you ult to steal his ult, you can ult instantly during the E in order to activate the Yasuo's last breath, and it will just chain CC him and you'll do lots of damage. The second tip for Sylas is pretty obvious, but too many people forget it. Sylas is only a counter pick. He's one of the worst blinds in the game. He gets stuck on 2 items very, very often against hard matchups. You only wanna pick him if you know for sure who the enemy top laner is, and you use it to counter pick him. So like Malphite, enemy has like Varus ADC, you wanna like counter pick their ults, and then the champion can just 1v9, but don't blind him. You will regret blinding this champion, do not do it, it's not worth it. Now, for the most anticipated champion of all time, 2 tips for Toppelos, the most deadly champion on the entire Rift. The first tip for Toppelos players is that Gravitum is always your third weapon. Toppelos will always solo kill most melee top laners if you can bait out their dash and then kite them with Gravitum. So your goal is to hit level 2 as fast as you can, and then the second you get the purple gun, just auto them to death. Like, just bait them to align you. Most of them will align you because they are ADHD top laners, and will try to align a champion that has a gun that literally slows them and they can't do anything, and then you just kite them and, well, you kill them. Gravitum is the best weapon for level 3 Toppelos. And the second tip for all the Toppelos players is, don't pick him. Wait until Stridebreaker nerfs, then pick him. He's unplayable. Stridebreaker gets nerfed, Bramble and Tabai, Toppelos will rise. But that day, we shall wait for. Okay guys, this is gonna be it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I took my time of stream today just to make it, and consulted some players in order to make the tips actually good and useful. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, sub, leave a comment, join Discord. It helps me so much. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. I really appreciate it. It's not monetized, so you guys don't get ads on it, so you can watch it in peace. And yeah, thank you guys so much. I'm live on Twitch almost every day. Make sure to check me out. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to let me know what other videos you would want. Okay, see ya guys, YouTube friends.